Welcome to Leading with Love. I am Cameo and I share life experiences that have helped me grow, learn, or succeed in some way. Today, I would like to talk about autism and school placement. I was coming across a lot of people that were unaware of the rights that you have as a parent with children with autism, especially when it comes to the school system and how that works. So, a little bit of a backstory of my situation and kind of how things have worked out for my children. When my son was diagnosed, he was diagnosed at a school that he currently goes to along with his sister that also has autism. My son is 6, my daughter is 5. My son's name is Liam, and my daughter's name is Claire. So while he was being diagnosed, which was when he was 3, I was paying attention to the school. And the school was super intense as far as having one person appointed to each person with autism. I asked more questions about the school as well during his diagnosis. And the more they went into detail, the more intrigued I was about the school and the more I wanted him to go. So I asked more questions and I found out that the school was $80,000 a year, which is not really in my price range. So as I asked more questions, they were saying that if you worked for that specific company, then you could have discounts. As soon as I heard discounts, right away I wanted to look for a job within the company. I was actually a stay-at-home mom at the time. I was married. Now I'm divorced, but I was married at the time and I was a stay-at-home mom. But I was thinking, hey, I have education. I'm sure I can find something. And I was determined to get my baby to go to that school because I just was super intrigued by it and I thought it would be a really good fit for Liam. Long story short, I ended up getting a job with the company and my son was able to go to the school. Now there was a waiting list, but he was able to get in. Once my son was in the school, this is how things worked. So my employer paid 100% for when he was 3. As he gets older, or as he got older, I would have to pay more of a percentage. So 100% free when he was 3. Then as he got older, I think 4 is maybe 25%, then 50, then like 75, and then 100%. So for me, I knew I would have to find a different avenue later if I wanted him to stay there, but for the time being, it worked. So now, as I was saying, he's 6. I had to either send him to the school district if they could provide what he needed, or send him to another school that would be able to provide what he needed. Now, this is where things get interesting because a lot of people that I come in contact with don't seem to know this information. So, if a school district cannot provide what your child needs as far as accommodations, whether that be physical accommodations, or if your child has different accommodations for if they can't sit in an environment with other children without maybe having meltdowns. And we're not talking like getting upset, like the safety of other children, the safety of themselves, things like that. Then if the school district cannot provide all that they need within their district of their school, then they are required to provide that. Now, with them being required to provide that, that means if you want your child to go to a different school, then they will have to pay for your child to go there because they are required to provide an adequate education for your children. With that being said, it is imperative to pay attention in these IEP meetings. So when you have these IEP meetings, these meetings for their individualized education plan, you have to really be diligent in expressing everything that your child needs, because even if it's the smallest thing, and I know these meetings sometimes can seem mundane and you're going over things, but it's imperative to be active in those meetings, and it's imperative to make sure that you bring up anything that your child needs, because you know your child best. You are the one that is observing your child the most and advocating for your child or your children in these meetings may be just the thing that you need to ensure that they are placed in a school that you know is best for them, because you are the person that knows what is best for your child. You will know what's best for them. I think it's a great thing to listen to suggestions and to take any information in, but when it all comes down to it, you are who knows what's best for your babies. Now, the process of placement and how things go after the IEP meeting is kind of up to you in the school district. If the school district agrees to where you are wanting to place your child, then things will go super smoothly, because then you would just need to work out paperwork and things like that as far as the school district is concerned. If the school district suggests a school that you would not like your child to go to, I would suggest really pushing for your child to go where you desire your child to go, because you know what's best for your child. If the school district does not agree and suggests another school, I would suggest viewing the school and taking it in consideration, because sometimes if your child is already in a school and in a routine, you automatically would want them to stay there. And I think it's a good idea to explore new options if they are suggested, just because you never know, it might be a better situation for your child. However, if you go and view the school and speak with the staff and kind of figure out how they do things, and you are not comfortable with it, or you think that the school that your child is currently in is better, or you see a school that you would prefer your child to go to, I would suggest taking that route and suggesting that to the school district. Now, the worst thing that can happen is the school district can kind of push back and say, we think this school is best, what we suggest, where I would suggest you get a lawyer. And I know that that sounds like a lot, and it probably sounds like, oh my goodness, but it's not as bad as it seems. And the best thing to do is to make sure that you are doing what's best for your child. We are the ones that have to advocate for them, because we are their voices. My children are currently nonverbal, so I am quite literally their voices. So I just wanted to make sure to really kind of narrow in on the importance of these IEP meetings. It's a good idea to get a lawyer, because the lawyer can kind of do that legwork for you. Mind you, this is only if the district disagrees. I know there are some districts that will really work with you and want the best for your child as much as you do. However, there are some districts that feel they know best, and if you kind of push back, I think it would just be best to make sure that you're protecting your child and yourself by having representation, meaning a lawyer, and that way you can kind of rest easy knowing that someone is fighting on yours and your child's behalf. Now, in my situation, my children have been going to the school that they're going to for years, so it would just make sense for my district to work with me, because if it went all the way to a court situation, it wouldn't make much sense for a judge to rule that my son is uprooted from where he is because he is getting an adequate education. He has a relationship with the teachers that he's had for years. And if you think about neurotypical people, even if some people miss their morning coffee or their morning routine in some way, if it's thrown off in some way, then they are disheveled sometimes for hours, long periods of time, even the rest of the day sometimes. So think about that as a neurotypical person and times it by 1,000, and that would be times by 1,000 for a person with autism. So to snatch him from where he's he's comfortable and where he's, making these strides, and he has this wonderful relationship with his teacher, jumps out of the car when he sees them. He is improving and now has a speech generator device to speak. They have also helped a lot with potty training. He's now potty trained. Like, to uproot a child with autism from all those things, and then he have to learn all over again, get used to people all over again, and get into a new routine, learn a new curriculum, learn how to be around children with other disabilities, because right now he is in a school that is strictly for autism. So we're talking about just really kind of changing everything about what he's used to. Not to mention the education that he's getting. Like, he is from 3 to now, it's a totally different child. So he's getting everything that he needs. So he doesn't need to go anywhere else, especially when he has this like comfortability factor there and this routine set up already. He knows exactly what he's going to do, and routines are imperative for children in general because of structure, but definitely imperative for children with autism. And as their parent, I will be doing everything I can to make sure they have exactly what they need. So in my situation, it would just make sense for the district to work with me outside of court. That doesn't mean that will be everyone's case, but I do not want that to scare you or deter you from doing what is right for your child, because you want to make sure you're doing everything that you can to get your child as far as possible, for your child to succeed, to make things a little bit easier for them in this world. You just want to make sure that you're doing all that you can. And I know that sounds difficult sometimes with getting a lawyer, having to go to courts and all those things, but it will feel so worth it in the end when you are able to get your child exactly where you want your child to be, or keep your child where they are, or whatever the case may be. So what I'd like you to take away from this video is advocate for your child. Make sure that in these IEP meetings, you are saying everything that your child needs. The school district is responsible for providing an adequate education for your child or children. If they cannot provide that with their school, they are required to provide that from another institution. With that knowledge, I want you to make sure that your child goes where you know is best for your child. Advocate for your baby. Push for what you want for your child, what you know your child needs. In these IEP meetings, mention anything that you have seen that you know that your child needs accommodations for, whether small or large. Just remember that you have rights as a parent or guardian for a child that has autism. You have rights. Look into those, read into those, especially for your specific state. Look into your resources that are available for you, because aside from the school district, there are also other resources that will provide funding for you, whether that's getting a speech generator device or that is helping out with some of their tuition. There are resources available and you have rights. So if you like this kind of content, please give me a like and please comment and let me know how your experience has been, and please share anything that you'd like to share in the comments. I genuinely want to hear about it. I'm just sharing what I feel will help and what I've gone through and what I know about. And so if you have anything to share with me, that'd be great. Please let me know if you like this content, if you want to hear more about autism or different therapies or experiences or things that I've come across. Subscribe if you like this kind of content. Thank you for being here with me. Hopefully this information has been helpful for some of you parents and guardians out there. This has been Leading with Love. Give people grace, yourself some space, and love more.